Thank you.
Start the countdown.
Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to Common Sense with Tom Schmitz. On today's show, my guest will be Kristin Nast, the 2017 chairperson for the March for Babies Walk, brought with the March of Dimes. I do need to let the audience out there know that the views expressed on this show are those of the host and guest only, and in no way represent the CEP, the Power Plant Business Incubator, the City of Ocala, or Marion County. It's Inauguration Day, folks. A little after 11 a.m. today, the United States will swear in its 45th president. Get used to it, President Donald J. Trump. Now, I'm not going to give you a long monologue on why I think this will be a better presidency than the last 8 years. But I will say this. Barack Obama was and is, for another few hours, my president. I might not agree with him or his party philosophy, but he was the duly elected leader of the United States for the last 8 years, and out of respect for the office of presidency, I've been proud to say Barack Obama was my president. Some people may say, well, Tom, how can you be a Republican and be proud that Barack Obama was your president? Well, that's easy. We live in the greatest country on the face of the earth. We duly elect our leader every 4 years. Barack Obama was elected twice to the office of the presidency, the highest office I feel that you could hold on the face of the earth other than the Pope. That's the Catholic in me, nothing I can do about that. So with that, that's how I was proud to have Barack Obama as my president. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, I'm not going to accept Donald Trump. Hillary won the popular vote. Yes, I know Hillary won the popular vote, but Donald Trump won the electoral college. I know some of you said, we need to get rid of the electoral college. Even Donald Trump said that when he thought he was going to lose. But the founding forefathers got it right. They knew less populated areas needed a say just as much as the crowded areas. Remember, if we took the popular vote in California and New York, those two states out, Donald Trump wins soundly. Do you want your country to be dictated on what the people in California or New York think? Hell, I sure don't. So with that being said, Donald Trump will be sworn in, and I'll be proud to call him my president. Do I think it's going to be a safe, easy, flowing ride? No. I think there'll be there'll be mountains, not bumps, some mountains, especially if we can't keep him off Twitter. Not very presidential the way he tweets all the time, in my opinion. But there's only been 44 other men, and that's a whole different show we could do one day, that have become president of the United States, and Donald Trump is the next one up. Godspeed to Mr. President Trump. Godspeed to the United States of America. Now, last night while you were sleeping, brought to you by the Riley Arts Center, the premier performing arts center in our area with concerts, dance events, and comedy events. The Riley has something for everyone. Visit them at www.rileyartscenter.com for an up-to-the-moment calendar of events. This, according to Ocala.com, 2 people were struck and killed by vehicles in separate accidents within hours of each other on South US 441 Thursday evening. 2 victims were male. One was identified as Christopher Michael Wright of Ocala. The name of the second victim was not immediately available. They were killed within a mile of each other. The crashes shut down portions of the busy highway for hours. The lead agency, Florida Highway Patrol, has investigated both cases and are trying to piece together what happened. The first crash, which occurred around 6:30 p.m., said a 2006 Mazda was traveling south in the southbound lane of South to 441 when a man walked into the roadway and was struck. A woman who was traveling behind the Mazda was too shaken up to give her name, told the Star Banner she had to swerve so she wouldn't hit the Mazda or the man who was struck. That is While You Were Sleeping, brought to you by the Riley Arts Center. Go visit them at www.rileyartscenter.com. And with that, I'll welcome in my guest now, the 2017 chair of the March for Babies Walk with the March of Dimes, Kristin Nast. Kristin, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about the March of Dimes for a minute, because a lot of people, I find, when you say March of Dimes, they go, oh yeah, I know what the March of Dimes is. And you ask them, so you know what the March of Dimes, because I'm that kind of person. I go, oh, really? You know what the March of Dimes is? Well,
yeah, I think when I asked you about it, you were that kind
I know, I was that kind of person. That's why I do that, because you did this to me, and I thought, well, it's the organization President Roosevelt created to combat polio.
Right.
Getting a dime, collecting a dime from
Right.
everybody. That was the donation. That's where it comes. We were marching for dimes.
Exactly.
Dimes
That's where
had a
the
lot
name
more
comes from.
value back then.
Right.
So, but it was to help with polio.
Right.
And children stricken with polio. Actually, adults, everybody stricken with polio.
Correct. We were all babies at one point.
But polio has been eradicated in the United States. Not been eradicated on the earth because of vaccinations don't get to some of the third world countries, but it's not a problem in the United States anymore.
It is not, thanks to the March of Dimes.
Thanks to the March of Dimes. So the March of Dimes now does other things.
Yes.
It is very important to me. When you told me what the March of Dimes did, then I said, well, I need to be a part of that. And I'll tell you why. The March of Dimes is very into helping premature babies.
Correct.
Babies that were born early. And I have a sister, Lorna, who is 47 now. Is she 47? She'll be 47. Yeah, she's 47. She turned 47 in December.
She's 47.
Yeah, she doesn't like, sometimes I'll get it wrong.
Lorna, you're 47.
And I'll say she's 48. And then she'll call me because she watches every morning. She'll be like, I'm not 48, and don't forget that.
I'm sure she's very happy that you're even saying her
Right.
age.
So, yeah, she's my little sister. That's what big brothers do. We embarrass them at all turns.
Yeah.
But she was born 2.5 months premature with undeveloped lungs. And we talked about, you and I before the show, talked about, this is 1969. Back then, they just kind of put you in a glass case with some blankets and a heat lamp and said, you know, good luck.
Yeah.
We'll monitor you. We got a nurse in here. When you cry, we'll come over and see if we can shake you a little bit and say, shh.
Maybe turn
it's
you
okay.
over.
Turn you over.
Increase
Keep
the
the heat
heat.
lamp. Exactly. But through the March of Dimes, we've progressed a long way from that.
A lot, yes. There's been billions of dollars raised since the walk itself started in 1970. And there's research centers all over the country who are currently working to eradicate premature birth in general, all the diseases associated with pregnancy. They're currently working very hard on trying to cure Zika, which is a horrible thing that's just now struck us in the United States.
Just now, we can't, and I firmly believe we wouldn't even think Zika was a virus that we would know about if it wasn't for the Olympics going to Rio de Janeiro in 2016.
That's quite possible.
We would just think that babies were having little heads and they were underdeveloped and all. We wouldn't know the cause of it if it wasn't for the limelight put on by the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. So the walk started in 1970.
The walk itself.
The walk itself started in 1970. Now the walk is a huge event nationwide.
Huge, yeah.
Because I participated in
There's
the walk.
650 cities as of last year who participate in the walk.
And every city from like New York City,
Oh yeah,
Atlanta,
oh yeah.
down to a mid-sized city like Ocala, all the way down to I participated on 6 years in a row in the Hawthorne March for Dimes walk at Hawthorne High School.
I didn't know that.
Hawthorne has its own march, and they do it at the high school track in Hawthorne, and everybody sits, it's like a tent city on the football field for the 24-hour walk, and I was asked to do this and did it for 6 years. I was the music from 8 o'clock at night till 8 o'clock in the morning. So you played music to keep people motivated, but after midnight you had to play motivating music, but still allowed people to sleep.
Okay.
But it's a big party in Hawthorne. They raise a lot of money in Hawthorne, and that's really the essence of this, is a community that comes together for a common cause, but it's really a fun event. Now, when is the event here in Ocala?
It's going to be April 29th at the Florida Greenway, like it has been for the past 4 years, I think now. The registration will start at 7 and the event starts at 8. They're switching it up a little bit this year. If you've done the walk in the past, you're used to spirit stations from sponsors as you go through the walk. That's going to go away a little bit. There's still going to be some spirit stations and water stations on the walk, but we're going to celebrate more at the festival center is what they're calling it. So we're going to have a big party basically after the walk is over and everybody's finished, and there's going to be food and music, and it's a little bit different than years past. So I'm excited about that.
Now, is it the same weekend or the same general time every year?
Yeah, it's typically the last Saturday in April.
The last Saturday in April. So it's, sometimes that can conflict with Easter then, I would guess.
I don't know. I don't know when Easter is. Is it the last Saturday in April?
No, sometimes it is. It fluctuates.
Sometimes it's.
Sometimes, I think it may be.
I mean, I think it's the first Saturday.
Who knows?
In April.
Sometimes Easter's in March.
Yeah, you're right.
Sometimes
I don't think
in
it
mid-April.
conflicts with Easter
Who
at all.
knows?
But anyway.
See, that Father Pat's probably going to watch the show and go, "Good Catholic you are there, Mr. Schmitz." That's
yeah,
wonderful.
let's not let Father Pat watch tonight.
Wonderful. Father Pat watches me in more ways than I know.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you get involved with the March of Dimes?
When I was pregnant with my daughter Caitlin, who will be 9 next month, I had a very rough pregnancy. I was on bed rest for almost 3 months. I was going into the hospital doing stress tests every other day. They were monitoring her and I. It was a rough, rough time. And at that same time, a friend of mine was pregnant with twins, who she was going to be due in August. Yeah, August, and Caitlin was due in February. And so we were enjoying pregnancy together, even though I was on bed rest and it was stressful, I was still enjoying it. Had my children, or daughter, and then about a month later, she ended up going into premature labor and they couldn't stop it. And her babies, twins, were born at 1 pound 3 ounces and 1 pound 5 ounces at Shands. And
In March, and they were supposed to be born in August.
correct.
Wow.
So I might have those dates a little
But still, yeah,
off, but they were like 3 or 4 months early. It was
real early.
really early. And seeing them and knowing that my pregnancy was so high risk and that could have been me, it just made me want to get involved and help other families who had to go through spending months and months or even years with their babies in the NICU at Shands where they can't bring them right home like I was able to. So ever since then, this will be my 9th year I'm involved. I started a family team that year, been raising money as a family team. Then last year I was asked to be on the executive leadership team, which is the team that's responsible for fundraising for the March for Babies. And then from that, asked to be chair this year. And I asked Tom to be on the ELT with me this year so that we could spread word and fundraise a little bit more. But that's how I got involved. It's just something, everyone was a baby, everyone knows somebody, I feel like, that's been affected by a premature birth. Businesses are hugely affected by premature birth. If you have somebody at your place of employment that has a premature baby, it's gonna cost that business hundreds of thousands of dollars in health care, in maternity leave, all kinds of stuff that you don't even really think about.
So then, with that being said, when someone comes and knocks on your door as a business owner and says, "Hey, we're here for the March of Dimes, for the walk, we're looking for sponsorships and all," it actually might be a cost-saving thing.
Absolutely.
To do a donation because you're helping fund research that could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in
Correct.
man-hour and insurance money and all that you may have to pay out if one of your employees ends up with a premature child.
Absolutely. And in the nation, 1 in 10 babies are born premature, but in the state of Florida, it's 1 in 9. So it's worse in the state of Florida. So there's a very likely chance that one of a business's employees here locally will have to pay out that increase of money or be without that person working for months at a time.
Think about that stat you just gave.
Yeah, 1 in 9.
10% of every baby born in this country
Yep.
is born premature every year. And it's 1 in 9, so about 14% of every baby, 14% of all the babies born in Florida are born premature.
And some of them don't make it.
Even in 2017, some of them will not make it. I have a very good friend of mine that was at her prenatal care with her doctor. She's carrying twins.
Right.
And the doctor said, "I don't like what I'm seeing. Let's get you over to the hospital." And they did some tests and all. She was rushed into surgery to try to make sure that the babies, they did a they did a pre-surgery thing to make sure the babies, because the babies were trying to turn too early and everything, and it was going to cause issues with the twins. And that's the kind of things the March of Dimes, that kind of research where we now know you can go in and do surgeries to stop babies from doing things in the womb
Absolutely.
and stuff. All that comes through this kind of research, through the money raised with the March of Dimes.
Right, exactly. There's so many research centers that this money that we raise here locally go to help the babies that are born in Marion County, Alachua County.
Now, I know some people are going to ask, You raise money in Marion County, how much of it stays in Marion County?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Because it all goes to the March of Dimes National, but it
goes-
does come back to Marion County.
It does come back to Marion County, yes, but there's different portions of it that go to the research centers who are funded solely on what we raise from the walks. So I don't have that answer, but I can get it.
What is, and I've always said Ocala, Marion County is one of the most giving. When the call to action goes out in Ocala, Marion County, they always step up. And as many charities and as many charitable events as we have in this town, and you know from raising money, it's a tough sale because there's so many, but yet it seems when it comes time to put foot on pavement and put the, rubber on the road, people in Marion County step up and they come in.
We're very blessed from that.
What last year? What was the goal last year, and what did March of Dimes do last year, 2016?
The goal last year was 290,000. We fell short. We came in at 260. The goal this year is 310,000, and it's going to be broken down. Think about it this way: 310,000 is our goal. If we get 300 teams, which we had 300 teams last year, and there's 10 people on each team, and each person raises $100.
There's $300,000.
There's our goal. That's not a hard thing to do.
I had Carla
$100.
Grimsley on from Interfaith.
Correct.
A couple weeks ago, and she was talking about the Drive for Five that they did about 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
That she said, just bring us $5.
Yep.
$5 donation to Interfaith. She said that drive was one of the best money-making drives they had because who couldn't afford $5?
Right.
Well, it's kind of like, go out
It's
and
the
get
same
pledges.
thing.
Go out and get pledges around your neighborhood for people and
Absolutely.
everything. Go ask 100 of your friends.
Exactly.
Say, go on Facebook and ask 100 of your Facebook friends, where we have thousands. Can I get every one of my Facebook friends to pledge $1 for me to walk in the March of Dimes walk?
And what you're going to need to do is go to marchforbabies.org, search for the Ocala Walk, register your team, get your 10 people or your 9 people, so you're a team of 10, to join with you, and just post that link all over the internet, all over Facebook, share it with everybody.
I just need $1 from 100 people to sponsor me for this walk.
Absolutely. How amazing would that be?
Matter of fact, you need $1? I'll give you $1 right now.
Go to my link
There you go.
for my team, and you can donate
I'll
it
give
there.
you $1. Because if you get 100 people giving you $1,
Absolutely.
there's your $100.
Absolutely.
And who can't afford $1?
Yeah, I didn't say that one person had to donate $100.
Right.
One person has to get $100
$1
on their team.
Right. But that's,
If you get 10 people to give you $10.
I remember when I was a young kid, we would do these kind of bowl-a-thons and everything with the school, and we'd raise money for our school and everything. And I'd go around and I'd knock on ladies' doors in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm here for the bowl-a-thon. Could you give me, for every frame we bowl, could you give me a penny? And I'd bowl like 102 frames over an 8-hour period. They'd give me $1 or $2. And I remember through my neighborhood, I'd get 90, 100 people in my neighborhood that would say, yeah, I'll give you a penny for every frame you bowl.
But think about that.
And I would win every year.
When you were little, you had to go around knocking on doors for
Right.
that. Now, with the power of social media, you can reach people all
All
over.
over,
They
right.
don't have to be your friends and family that are here
Right.
locally.
And I got the neighborhood people to say, yeah, I'll give you a penny for every frame you bowled. A penny.
Yeah.
And I'd raise
That's how we started.
I'd raise
March for Dimes.
March for Dimes.
Starting with
I'd
dimes.
raise like $105, $110 every year, and I would win. I was always the kid that people would get mad. Tom always wins the video game. Tom always wins the cool football. And it's because I just went out and said, all I need is a penny. For every frame I bowl,
Right.
I need a penny. So I'd bowl the 100-some frames.
Right.
Go to the lady, how many frames? 100, she'd give me $1.03.
Exactly.
And I'd get it from 100 people, and all of a sudden I'd have $100.
Yep. It adds up.
The other kids would have $40, $35.
And
How'd
then
you do that?
maybe the state of Florida will go from 1 in 9 to 1 in
11
20.
or 1 in 20.
I mean, could you
Any
imagine?
kind of improvement.
Could you imagine?
And that's the thing. We're not talking about a lot of money here when you talk about donation. We're talking about if you get 100 people on Facebook, 100 people on Twitter, 100 people on LinkedIn, 100 people on Instagram, 100 people on Snapchat, to each give you $1. But let's go back to the March of Dimes.
Electronically.
Let's go back to the March of Dimes. How about if you got 100 people on 5 different websites, social media, to give you $0.10 a piece? Okay? That's
ahead.
$10. That's $50 right there, and you're only doing a dime.
Yeah.
If you can do it with a dime, you can do it with a dollar.
And if you ask people for a dime, they're going to give you more than a dime.
Of course they are. But think about that. If you went to Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, and Facebook.
I mean, $310,000 sounds like a huge goal, but when you break it down like that, if you get the buy-in from our community to raise a dime or a dollar or $10, it's going to happen. It's not a hard goal.
No,
We're
not
gonna-
when you break it down into those kind of numbers.
I want to raise more than that.
Now, is the walk a 24-hour walk here?
No,
It is not.
It's a 6-mile walk.
It's a 6-mile walk. Because see, in Hawthorne, they do it. It's not they say it's but it's not a 24-hour walk. It starts at 8 at night and ends at 8 in the morning.
Right.
They just walk for 12 hours.
It's a fun time. It's a really fun time. There's radio shows there, broadcasting, like I said, live music. There's food, free food at the end from lots of different companies. We have lots of great sponsors and partners that help us.
And it's on a Saturday.
Yep.
The last Saturday in April.
And
I'll be. You are requiring that I have to be there.
yeah,
Yeah. Being that I'm on the ELT and everything, I have to be
Correct.
there.
Yes.
So if you want to come out and throw pies at me or tell me why my opinion is terrible, hey, this is a good event to do it.
and if you want to find out more, we're having our kickoff event on February 9th at 6 o'clock at the new Medical Health Services facility. It's right behind the
next to
bowling,
bowling
alley.
alley.
Right. It's a beautiful facility. We're very excited to be having our kickoff there. February 9th, 6 p.m. I will create a Facebook page and share it with everybody just so everyone knows what's going on and where. And hopefully we'll get a lot of people there. Mojo's is donating the food. Shout out to them.
Rondo does such a great job of that kind of
Yes.
thing. Kristen earlier today said, February 9th on your calendar? I said, what's February 9th? Now I know. Shame on me.
Yes.
Bad ELT member.
Yeah.
Bad ELT member.
We're also I'm partnering with Painting with a Twist to do a fundraiser for March of Dimes on March 21st at 6 o'clock. What they do is they do Painting with a Purpose, so half of the proceeds go to the March of Dimes.
That's such a cool little concept, Painting with a Twist.
It is.
You've been there quite a few times.
I have.
You really enjoy it.
I have, yeah.
It is the adult version of crayon and color book.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's fun. It's
the
a great time.
It's the adult version of crayons and coloring books.
Yes.
I mean, it really is.
Yes, it's a fantastic
It really
time.
is a fantastic
You
time.
don't want to miss it, and space is going to be limited for that.
So then with the walk in April, then you just shut down and you don't collect any more money till next year's
Oh,
walk?
absolutely not. We keep on collecting. You want to send in money in August, and we'll take it.
So
Actually, there's campaigns, corporate campaigns that go on, like the Publix campaign. If you're ever at Publix and they ask you
would
if
you like to donate to the March of
would you
Dimes?
like
They
to
do,
donate
yeah.
to the March of Dimes, they do that campaign for almost a month. Kmart does a campaign.
So who is
Famous
it?
Footwear does a campaign.
I know that at Publix, I always tell them at Publix when they say, would you like to donate to the March of Dimes? I tell them, please round up to the next dollar. Just think about how that is. People don't think about, say you go to Publix and your bill's $93.14. Would you like to donate to the March of Dimes, round up to the next dollar?
all goes back to that
It's only
dime.
86 cents. But if everybody that day at Publix donated up,
Absolutely.
rounded it up, Publix, just one Publix,
Publix does
could
a
raise
lot.
thousands of dollars.
Publix is a huge sponsor of ours and a wonderful partner. They donate a lot to our walk.
So if people wanted to get involved with teams or sponsorships for the event, how can they find out about it?
They can contact me, or they can go to marchforbabies.org, and all the information on registering your team, the kickoff information is on there, everything you would need to know, the walk information, it's all on there.
It's all on it. It's .org.
.org,
That's
yeah.
the key.
Marchforbabies.org.
Marchforbabies.org, because people go, oh, you didn't see it .com. It's not .com.
And right on that homepage, you just search for your city and you just put in Ocala, and it'll pull up everything you need to know. Our goal, like I said, is to have 300 teams. So that's corporate
And you had 300
teams.
teams last year.
We did 300. That's corporate teams, family teams. You and your friends want to get together and make a team. You don't have to have like a business. Some businesses have matching sponsorships too. So ask your employer if they'll match what you raise. That's another way to raise.
Like my fantasy league, we have 10 teams in our fantasy league. So get those 9 guys and me together, there's a team.
Yeah, why have you not yet?
So you don't have to, it doesn't have to be business oriented. Just be 10 concerned citizens that are,
Correct.
that this is something they feel passionate about.
Yep.
They register their team.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's that easy. Because a lot of times people think, well, these kind of fundraisers are for businesses and all to go out with team building situation and all. That's not what this is for. This could be 10 women who get together for a book club.
Absolutely.
Could be a team in this walk.
And 1 in 10 of one of those people would have
probably had a
premature
baby.
Correct.
Exactly.
So it affects so many people.
It really does. And like I said, it affected me in 1969 when my sister was born premature, way back then.
Right.
And back then, they said, I think my mother said it was like 1 in 18 survived that were born premature. That means, you know, my sister really beat the odds.
Absolutely.
Because back then, if you were born premature, it was a death sentence.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes.
Yeah, it was.
So, and now it's not a death sentence.
Think of where we'll be in 47 years.
Right. It's
from
not a
doing
death
this
sentence
research.
now.
Absolutely not.
But it's still not a good situation, and we want to eradicate it off from the United States and the earth.
Absolutely.
We'd love to eradicate premature babies. Kristin Nast, the chair of the March for Babies Walk, the 2017 March for Babies Walk with the March of Dimes, has been my guest. Thank you so much for coming by, and we'll check in with you again before the walk.
Thank you.
Now, this day in history. On this day in history, in 1981, a guy who they thought might be a wild card, probably wasn't going to do a very good job, was going to bring the country down to a point where we would no longer be the most powerful country in the world. Because he was a movie actor. The hell did he know about politics? Took office. I'm talking about my fraternity brother, Tau Kappa Epsilon graduate from Eureka College, and his history will probably end up being one of the 4 or 5 best presidents ever to hold office. Ronald Reagan was sworn in on this day in history. This day in history has been brought to you by KT Entertainment. If you have a wedding reception, a birthday party, or any kind of private party gathering that you need music and entertainment for, call KT Entertainment at 352-512-2611 or find them on the web at kt4fun.com. That's KT, the number 4, fun.com, or check them out on Facebook at KT Entertainment. For my guest, Kristin Nast, and for Ryan Mace pushing all the buttons behind the scenes, I'm Tom Schmitz. Have a great weekend, everybody.